What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? We are about to get into template number 254, which we use some AI to create our letters and our chibi characters. And now I'm going to show you how we can pull these things together to create a very unique but very, very quick template. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change out my character here. So right now I have a chibi Snow White-ish character, and I'm going to go ahead and switch that out. Now, all you have to do to switch out, I'm going to give you some characters. They'll look like this right here. And if you don't have a character to switch out, then at least when you come to class, you should have something in your folder where you can use it as an example to switch out. So I'm going to show you what I do to remove my background, because I want you to go ahead and have if you're going to use your own image here instead of the image we give you, I want you to have the background removed. So for me, what I do is I go ahead and create a PNG using this little handy dandy tool here. I can drag and drop my images from my folder onto here. And then I can tell it that I want to start the background removal. Now, this is the same thing as using removebg.com. Okay, so you can just as easily do this with removebg.com. And then when I open my output folder, it's going to have all of my images here with the backgrounds removed. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what you would do if you come into class with one of these images or your own image, how you would switch it out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that down. The first thing you're going to do is click on photo 1. You're going to double click, open that up. And let's go ahead and change this one to our Starbucks theme here. What you want to do is get it about the same level as the previous image. So the height of it should be starting at the same position. If it's shorter than that, it's fine. You can always move it around. And then we're going to turn off the previous image here. And you see I still have a little bit of stuff down here I want to clean up. I'm going to create a layer mask here. Okay. And in order to create a layer mask, I just create one by clicking on this rectangle with the circle inside. Right now it's all white because white reveals and black conceals. So I'm going to grab my paintbrush here and make sure that black is selected. And I'm just going to fade off any of this stuff down here that I don't want. And that's our favorite way to get rid of any hard lines, is to use this brush with the layer mask technique. Let's go ahead and close out of it. And before we close out, it's going to ask us to save. We're going to say yes. All right. And now I have the option to make this image go like right in the center there. It could go over to the side, which we just had the Snow Whitish character over to the side. Now we're going to do our coffee character. I think I'm going to do her where she just replaces the entire O. So that's why I have it labeled here as O replace. That means you want to make it basically as big as this particular letter, and you may have to move it to do that. You can even choose to scale it by pulling down on these nodes. Now, if you don't want the O there at all, you just turn the O off. I kind of like it there because I feel like it fills out that space, but you can turn it off altogether and just put the character there. Now you're also going to have an option to do some color changes. So for this one, I'm going to go with the green and yellow theme here. So for color number 1, I'm going to pick this yellow here. I'm on the wrong layer. I'm going to close down some of these things. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the color with the color picker tool here. And I'm going to grab this kind of cream color here. It can be easier. Yeah, that's what I want, that color right there from her hair bow. So that will be my color number 1. And then my color number 2, I'm not going to do that green. I'm going to do the green that's kind of in the shorts, more like an olive green there. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and change out my smart colors. So for color number 1, I'm going to duplicate that layer. So I have it right here. Go to my swatches and I'll see my gold there. And I'll go ahead and say yes to save, close that out. And then for color number 2, I'm going to do the same thing, duplicate that layer and change it out for my olive color. It's a really dark olive color. All right, and in order to get these to make changes here, so right now I have a plaid layer, I have some roses on here, and I also have some bling letters on here. So you will get to choose tonight which letters you want to use and for what reason. So let's say I want to go just with my bling layers, and I'm going to turn off the roses, and I'm also going to go ahead and turn off the plaid here. And if I decide to layer it, I'll show you how to do that. So for this one, we're not using smart colors. We are using a hue and saturation change. So for this one, this is the hue pink, and that's because I've shifted the blues. But if I want to shift it, I'm going to duplicate this layer. And for this one, it's not going to say hue pink. I'm going to change this one to hue. And I am going, since it's already gold, I'm going to make this one green, or call it olive green. Or let's do dark olive, because I want to show you how you can make dark colors. Oh, not olives, but olive. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to take the hue saturation layer here, double click on it, and go to the blues. All right, and you'll see that the blues have been shifted in hue. And we're going to turn off the pink there so we can see that what it's doing here. So we're going to be shifting our blues to, and honestly, I think we can shift just our cyans here. Yeah, let's shift the cyans because I made everything cyan to make it a little bit easier. And let's shift those to a green. And it's not quite the green one, it's a little vibrant, right? So we're going to bring the saturation down We'll bring the lightness down so it gives us a nice deep color there. And like I said, I want sort of an olive color. So that saturation for olive is more of a gray than it is a pure color. So I'm bringing the saturation down towards gray. And this is where it comes in handy to understand about color theory. But that looks good to me. And then if I feel like here, I want to add, let's say I want to add the plaid in the background because I think that would look cool. I'm going to click on the love text here, and you do not have to use the plaid that's in there. It's just basically standard text with a little bit of an effect to it. But I thought the plaid would be a good play based on what you want to play with. And then also you can layer it with the roses. So you can choose which combinations you want to do there. So I'm going to do the plaid, but I want the plaid to be my olive color here. So I'm going to click here and then change this to the hue. But I'm probably going to have to play with, and let's say I'm going to turn the bling off so you can see what I'm doing here. So depending on which layer you want to use, let's say you want to use the plaid. So in this case, I'm going to use this color here. I think I'm going to shift this color just a little bit so that it is more green. So you can see, because right now it's a little more golden yellow. I'm going to bring it up to the greens and kind of make it kind of like a dark olive drab color. There we go. Okay, and you'll notice that it did change the colors, but it's not my dark olive color. So here I'm going to have to work with the levels. So we did hue and contrast. Now we're working with levels to do a color change. So here I'm going to double click on my levels, and then I can shift it in the middle, left to right. Up, it's got to be above. I'm going to place it above my plaid there. And then that way I can recolor my plaid based on the color that I want to achieve here. So right now it has a layer mask on it. So I'm going to delete that layer mask. And I'll show you that if you wanted some of your color to be the yellow there, and then some of it to be the green, you can absolutely do that. And I'm going to change this color here to normal just so that we can see that one. So I'm going to add a layer mask on this one. And I will grab my paintbrush here. So some of you are wondering, well, how do I do the half and half letters? So I'm going to show you precisely how to do that. Let's say you want it half colored with the plaid and half with the solid yellow. Well, you can come here and you can just paint across the top there, and boom. I'm going to paint across the top here. There you have it. So you'll be able to do those type of effects and see how quick that was. And it's only because you have the file set up a certain way that it's just ready to go. But all you're going to be doing if you want to have a dual effect there is to add a layer mask. And then I want you to put black. So black conceals and white reveals. So put black over any of the parts that you want to conceal, and it will reveal the lower part there. So you have your bling version, you have your... And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and save this one as the bling version. So this will be number 2. And then this will be number 3 with the plaid. And then I'll show you also, you can layer the plaid with the roses or just do the roses, and that'll give you another option there. Here we go. So this is going to be option number 3. And the reason why I like to number them, because I really like to see how many different variations I can get done. Because once you understand a template, you should be able to do a flip in about 5 minutes or less. This one should take less than 5 minutes once you know the type of effect that you want to get out of the love text. All right, and then I'm going to bring on the roses, and you can recolor the roses as well. Now I have it to where it's going to recolor everything together, but if you turn on the green there, see how it recolors your roses with the green? You can turn on the yellow and it can recolor with the yellow. But if you're going to use yellow, then I'm going to highly suggest that you double click here on your levels. And then you change those levels so that you get a nice cleaner yellow. And then maybe for this one, instead of doing the faded letters, I'll do the roses in yellow and the plaid in green. And you can really start to play with layering these things. Now you can also choose, just like I showed you below, how you can selectively color things. You can add the green back. And then what you can do is on the yellow color layer, add a layer mask. And let's say you want to go in, and this is something I wouldn't really do if I'm creating quick art. However, if there's parts that you want to add the green to, you can grab your paintbrush here and make it a bit smaller. And let's say some of these accent areas here you want to be your green color. Then you're going to delete that layer mask from the green, and you'll see that anywhere that on the layer mask, if you paint, anywhere on that layer mask that you paint, it'll bring the green in. And then that way, if you wanted to have certain parts of your flowers that were your secondary color, you can absolutely do that and work that in. However, I don't suggest that for your quick projects. Quick projects, I want you to be able to flip in 5 minutes and do a basic, really basic color change. All right, so I like the more monochromatic look here. So I'm going to go with the green here. And then I'm going to adjust the levels here, because when I adjusted it for the yellow, it's a little too light. Now I can adjust it for the dark olive green, and it looks really good there. And it kind of blends. So now the plaid looks like it's working with the flowers, and these fonts are almost nothing alike and don't really work together. So it just so happens to make a kind of cool effect here. So what you can do for your letter L, it's kind of popping out a little bit here, which is fine to me because I like it like that. But that's something that you don't like. You can go to your layer mask and you can paint off what's kind of sticking out in an odd way, so that now it looks like you have a combination of plaid and flowers. Right? And then maybe I'll do that here to the letter E too. And as a matter of fact, I'll put this on the whole love roses. So this will go for everything. So on the E here, I can kind of get a little bit cleaner here. And everything else looks pretty good to me. So now I can make it look like I have totally different text here just by layering and doing what's called a composite in Photoshop. So now I did my composite text here. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and export that. Quick export that as a PNG. And that's going to be my fourth art variation. And I haven't even changed my character yet. All right, and give this. All right, so I'm just showing you some of the variations that we came up with already. So I have the plaid with it, which is half to half. We have the bling, and then we have the plaid plus the flowers, and maybe we'll do the plaid plus the bling, or the bling plus the flowers. So for the next one, let's go ahead and bring in a different image here. So I'm going to go to my photo number 1. And let's go ahead and change that out. I'm going to give you one more. And then I will give you some alternates in class as well. So let's say I'm going to make this one my cute little alien. I'm going to bring it to the top here. It's already got the background cut out. And for my cute alien, maybe I want to do my flowers plus my bling. So I'm going to turn the plaid off. And the way that I turn the plaid off is just to turn off the love text layer. And you also, like I said, you don't have to put the plaid on there at all. You can just do the standard font there. So you do have that option. But we're going to do the roses plus the bling, turn off the love text. And what this does is it kind of gives me a little bit of a background outside of the letters there. So you can play with this as well. And I'm going to turn off or disable the layer mask where we colored inside there. And I'm going to make this just fit a little bit better for this text. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. And I do want, like, I want the flowers to poke out just a little bit, just enough to give it a little visual interest there. For my V here, I'm going to just scoot that over just a little. And for this one, if I want to change the colors, let's say I want to change the color to the heart color here. I can grab that pink here. Go to my, I'm going to choose color number 2 since color number 2 is already the one that I'm primarily using right here. Let's duplicate that layer. Come over to the swatches, choose that pink. Go ahead and shut down and hit yes to save. Now for the jewel tones here, what I want to do is duplicate this dark olive layer. And then I'll go ahead and call this one my pink heart. And here you have to visually match your colors. So I'm going to go here, go to double click on, my hue saturation. I just said here, double click on the hue saturation. Then instead of master, we're going to choose cyans. And then you're going to move the hue until it gets to, well, let's turn off the dark olive first. Then we're going to move the hue until we get to pink heart, double click, and I should be on my cyans. There we go. All right, so I'm going to move my hue. Right now I'm in the purples. You want to be closer to the reds. And if you need to bring your saturation up to see where you are, you can do that. And then the lightness I'm going to bring back up to the center. And let's see, I want to get closer to a red here. So I'm going to go all the way to the right. I'm going to bring down my saturation just a little too pure. And then I'll bring up my lightness some. And you'll see how it's starting to get like a little pink there. And I'm just using my eyeballs to judge here what type of pink that I want. So I can bring my saturation up. I can bring my lightness up. I can change that hue. Anything that's going to help me get closer to the pink that I want to see here. And that looks really good to me. So I'm going to leave that one there as the pink heart. And then I'm going to proceed to change the levels here for the rose colors. So I'll double click on the levels there. And if you see here, I can push that around. It'll give me different colors. I'm going to bring my white all the way back. And then I'm going to push my mid-tone colors here to the left so I get a nice, lighter, little more pastel coloring here. Now I can take that, and that could be that'll be artwork number 5. And then I'm going to do it without the stones, just the flowers by itself. So you'll have all those variations. All right, so saving that as a PNG. I turn off my bling layer, and now I just have my flowers here. And for this one, I'm going to change out the graphic one more time here. So this time I'm going to change it to this teddy bear. I'll drag and drop it, or you do file, place embedded. Either those ways. File, place embedded is your guaranteed way to get it done. Sometimes drag and drop won't work if you are overloading your computer. All right, so this will just be bear. And then for bear, I am going to go back to red. So everything for the hearts is already red. I can just turn off that color and turn off the saturation, and red is there for me. Good to go. If I want to turn back on my plaid, I can do that too. And turn off my smart colors, turn off my levels there. And I think I like this one with the plaid, and then also with the roses just by itself. So like I said, with this template, you will have options. The whole idea is to understand how you can create your composites. And really, when I created this one here, I should have reactivated this layer mask here. So I'm going to do that one more time. Go with that one. And then I'm going to do this one with just the roses by itself. And like I said, this is a really simple way that you'll be able to create so many different variations for Valentine's Day. It will be ridiculous. I'm going to change that one to artwork number 7. And I even want you all to have some fun. Get creative as far as with the type of images. You all created Chibi images. I'm giving you some Chibi images. These are all what we consider kind of Chibi images. And if you missed the AI class on Monday, AI 14, we created Chibi characters. We created those letters that you see here with the roses. And by combining those letters with our Chibi characters, we're really learning how to use Photoshop. So we're learning how to do some advanced techniques, which are our recoloring techniques, but we're also learning how to take our AI artwork and use it to its maximum ability. So let's say this one's going to be purple and pink. This is my last one, y'all. I'm switching out. Like literally, I think I've created like 8 designs in 15 minutes. And this with me talking right now. All right, so this one we're going to do the O replace, and I'm going to show you what you do if you just want to replace the O entirely. We will just turn off the O there, and that replaces the O. Okay, so some of you may be looking to do that, and if so, I'm just resizing that just a little bit so that it just fully replaces my letter O. Now, in this case, if I want to recolor here, remember I told you about color 1, color 2, I'm going to do the roses, but I'm going to do a half and half color. So let's go ahead and go to my swatches here. I'm going to create a couple of swatches by using my color picker tool. And I'm going to pick the purple that I want from him. And you see how it pops up there. And then that pink is pretty much already there. But I think this pink is a little different. I'm going to go with that bubblegum pink. All right, so let's go ahead and change out color number 2. And I'm not sure how it got that plus sign. That was me probably typing too fast. There we go. So we'll make that the pink color. And then we'll make color number 1 the purple color. Double click. Let's make it purple. Duplicate that layer. Make it purple. Close on out. Hit yes to save. Now the same way I dual colored my plaid, I'm going to dual color my flowers. So I'm going to turn on both layers. And right now I only see the purple. But what I can do is put a layer mask on the purple. Grab my paintbrush tool here, make it much bigger. As a matter of fact, I'll probably make it somewhere around 600 pixels. In fact, let's do 800. I want to make it nice and big. And then you want to make sure that you're on a soft round brush so that it gives you a good fade off. And then here I'm going to disable the layer mask because I want to see my crispy lines of my text. Right, and we are going to paint over the top here. And the reason why I'm going all the way to the right too is because I know my O is over there. And if I want to, I can recolor my O too. And maybe you don't just want to do just the top to the bottom. Maybe you want to kind of go in the middle here and give it a little fade off effect. Okay, so now that's incorporating 2 colors. So no matter what colors I change out here, what smart colors I change out here, I'm going to have that whole dual color effect here. Okay, and that is a very, very simple way to add a little extra flare of color that AI is not going to give you, and you can show off by using AI in combination with your Photoshop. So I'll go ahead and quick export that one as PNG, and that will be our artwork number 8. So there you have it, folks. We just switched this design out so many different times. And what I want to do here is go ahead and get this file uploaded for our VIP and Platinum VIPs. You will be able to do all of this in class. I will have these files that I gave just as an example right now. You all will have these, but if you were in our AI class, then we have all of these rooms that you all participated in. You have your letters too. You can go ahead and use the letters that I have, or you can create those your Chibi characters. So you have all of those things ready to go. Okay, so you have the letter LOVE cut out. You can replace the ones that I have. You have your Chibi characters. You can replace that, but I'm going to ask you not to replace your LOVEs. I want you to tonight, I want you to focus more on using your layered text. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Let me see if I change. I got distracted, y'all. I like that. I'm going to change my plaid to pink. Or should I change it to purple? Or should I dual it? Ooh, I like that. Okay. So hold on, y'all. Let me get that as image number 9. I like that. I wasn't expecting that. All right, so you're going to do composite. You're not going to bring in your letters. You're going to change out your Chibi character and focus on how you're going to use these composite letters. So you have the bling letters. Okay, you have the bling letters, you have the rose letters, and then you have the text that has the plaid in there. And of course, you can even go into the plaid, double click on it, and you can change the size and the scale of it. Y'all check that out. All right, then that way you get some different variations. You can even change the angle here. If you don't want it going straight up and down plaid, you want it going at an angle, it's your prerogative, okay? But I have it there right there for you. Let me go ahead and upload this for you all. If you're not in our VIP or Platinum VIP membership, please consider joining. If you want to do things like this every single week, we have a different template and we have a different thing that you're learning in Photoshop so that you're building your Photoshop skills while being able to flip a template in 5 minutes. This is one of the best ways to learn Photoshop and earn money simultaneously. So it doesn't take you 2 years to feel confident in Photoshop. You're literally going to be able to sell this design on your products just as soon as you finish class tonight. All right. So without holding you off too much longer, I appreciate you all. I love you dearly. And until next time, bye. Take it easy, y'all.